morning. So it is 8:20. We are almost to the airport in New Orleans, where we decided to fly out for our flight to New York, and we're gonna land in JFK at like 3:30. We just hit some traffic, which we kind of anticipated, especially like when you're going into a big city and whatnot. So hopefully we'll get there soon, and we'll see you on the other side. The TSA line at MSY was super long, and it moved along quite a bit. Once we got to our gate, Joe asked to change our seats so that we can sit together. It was a full flight with Delta, but they were able to accommodate. A quick background, so Joe has been to New York at least 5 times, and I used to live there once as a child and once as an adult, and so this experience is different for us. It'll be a mix of touristy things and hometown things.
Welcome to New York John F. Kennedy International, where the local time is approximately 3:29 p.m.
We took the air train from the airport and into Jamaica, Queens, and this was about a $10 per person trip, and then we walked a few blocks to my grandmother's house. We were dog tired, so later that night we did get a little hungry, so we decided to go to Forest Hills, my old neighborhood, and check out the bars and restaurants. This place was too low-key, as in nobody was there. And it was overpriced, so we left. And we ended up here instead. It was more our style anyway. On Friday, we took the bus all the way down to Jamaica Avenue, where I stumbled upon a fabric district. I went to about 4 stores in total, and I'll be sharing my complete fabric shopping experience and haul in a separate video. Meanwhile, here's some graffiti that we came across while waiting for the bus to go home. I don't know who Bridget is, but I sincerely hope that she's all right. Like, seriously, justice for Bridget. It rained as soon as we got back home, so we waited a couple of hours until the storm let up and headed back to my old neighborhood, Kew Gardens. I grew up here, and I wanted to show Joe my old elementary school, where I lived, and honestly just a quieter side of Queens. He absolutely fell in love with the neighborhood, and we stuck around for a couple of hours. I have so many wonderful memories from my time here. My older cousin was a few years ahead of me, and he went to the same school as me, and my grandma worked here for a number of years. It's definitely a school that is rich in family history for us and brings back a lot of really happy times. The school itself is coming up on 100 years anniversary, which is crazy. The only reason I know that is because when I was there, they had a big celebration for their 75-year anniversary. Next, we headed down to a bodega I used to go to after school. Joe wanted to browse. I told him we don't browse at the bodega. Then we stopped to get fresh juice. Joe absolutely loves juice. This is a new place, part of the neighborhood I've never been, and they seem to have really cool flavors. Next, we headed to Danny's Pizza. This pizzeria has been around for decades. They are best known for their sweet sauce, and we used to eat here all the time, and I still stop by here for a slice anytime I'm in town. Back in the 90s, they had a special on Wednesdays, $5 pies. You just had to be there. How's it, babe?
So good. You don't want to eat no wrong.
Yes, Lord. So good. On Saturday, we went down to 14th Street and visited the Highline. The structure has been around for a really long time. It's an old train track, and it was going to get torn down, but a preservation project petitioned to save it. So it's been a greenway and a park ever since. It stretches all the way down from downtown to midtown, and it has hundreds of plant species that you likely wouldn't see on a normal day in New York. It's literally like an urban jungle, and I love it here. Great views and great exercise, and they have vendors. Here's Joe with some juice again. As we headed down to Washington Square Park, we came across a foreign exotic snack shop we had to pop in. Washington Square Park is about a 30-minute walk for us, and it's in the heart of NYU. Its most famous structure, the Triumphal Arch, is just like the one in Paris, but this one commemorates Washington. You might have seen this arch on famous shows like Friends and in movies like I Am Legend. I used to come down here as a kid and watch artists perform songs and whatnot. It still has that same energy. So Joe already ate his chips, but I got some truffle chips at the exotic foreign snack shop. I smell truffle. Why isn't this a thing? We heard about Cured on TikTok, and here you can make your own charcuterie board, and since we love those, we had to see what this was about. So we ordered the Best Buds combo, where you choose 3 meats, 3 cheeses, and 3 sides. Breads and crackers are not included in the 3 sides, and this was about $25, and it works for 2 or 3 people to share. And so of course we got salami, prosciutto, and some chorizo, and then we got goat cheese covered in honey, brie, and a smoked Gouda, I believe, and then we chose pickles and 2 different types of jams as well. And so we saw a really cute window for us to sit, and so we sat down and we decided to get into our charcuterie board. And in honor of Father's Day, they put a dad joke on the back side of the box lid. This was kind of cool. Joe mentioned that this was like Lunchables, but for adults, and he wasn't kidding, because honestly, that's what we all grew up on. So of course we love charcuterie boards. We were making all sorts of different combos here, and everything just tasted absolutely delicious. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Since we were on the opposite side of town, we took a lift down to Mood Fabrics, and of course I will be doing a separate video for my entire experience here because it definitely deserves that. Look at the artwork, so great. So we caught the train back to Queens, and we went to one of my favorite restaurants, Mama's Empanadas, and this is across the street from the mall that I used to work at. So I would come here a lot for lunch, and they have 50 different flavors of empanadas, and it ranges from corn to wheat flour all the way to desserts. So we went and we had to pay cash for this, and we sat across the street in the mall's food court, and we ordered about 12 different types of empanadas. This is us trying the beef one. Joe is eating the corn version, I'm eating the wheat version. And then we got into the dessert ones. Joe got guava and cheese, and I got plantains and cheese, and you see that they're covered in powdered sugar. So good.
Okay.
Try this one. Cut it off. You got anything else to say?
Hi, y'all.